We have already pointed out in other videos that everything is communication and that we can't stop communicating. Hence the importance of the title of this video, Non-Verbal Communication in Negotiations. Because even the silence speaks. I am José Manuel García-Lomas Allen-Perkins, President and first consultant of the firm García-Lomas Allen-Perkins, the ADO Corporation. I have spent more than 40 years and nearly 3,000 days developing business orientation programs, sales force training, leadership development, and management programs in all types of multinational organizations in the business world and all types of economic activities. Knowing or finding out the attitudes of the people we are negotiating with serves two purposes. First, choose the most appropriate tactics in what we are going to say, the what to say. And second, set the timing on what we are going to say. For example, when to say it. Tactics, the what, and timing, the when. The value of these 2 points, tactics and timing, is such that they can mean the difference between success or failure in negotiations. One of the means of finding out attitudes is through oral verbal communication. Another means to find out attitudes, and always present during the negotiation, is non-verbal communication, the NVC. Today we continue with this video on the techniques for the development of successful negotiations, focusing on something as vital as non-verbal communication, the NVC, and its influence on negotiations, the body language. And what is the NVC? The non-verbal communication, the information that our senses perceive, except for the spoken of the written word, said Henry H. Calero. Let's talk about the influence in negotiations. Some expressions about the NVC. A. The human being is a multisensorial being. Sometimes he verbalizes, said Ray Birdwhistle. B. Sometimes sign language, body language, is in contradiction and deserves more credibility than what people express verbally, said J. Ennis. C. And Victor Hugo said that man has vision, the woman has inner vision. Man has sight, women insight. Insight, inner vision, perspective, the ability to notice things that go unnoticed by others. D. An old Chinese proverb says, beware of that man, for when he laughs his stomach does not move. Other aspects to be considered in non-verbal communication. 1. Gestures. For example, you put your hand around the neck, rubbing it, and your wife thinks you are worried or in trouble. What's wrong, dear? She asks. 2. Positions. An example of 3 different phone calls. The first one, ring, ring. He stands up and buttons his jacket. Who is calling us? The director. The second one, ring, ring. He nodded his head. Who is it? The wife. The third call, ring, ring. He looks away and turning his back to you. Who is? Maybe the mistress. 3. Facial expressions. For example, when a person's eye blinking increases dramatically when the person is nervous, or when tend to lie. There is an increase in the blinking. In England, there is a saying, the blinking liar. 4. Sounds, emitting sounds. No, no. When the tongue detaches from the upper gum, rhythmically producing a typical sound, expresses no, no, no. In my country, this is an influence of the Arab culture. 5. Silence. Silence speaks, as they say, only if we know how to interpret them. 6. Outfit. This is how we dress and expressing intimate aspects of our being. 7. Tactile. Touching or taking the arm of the one we consider the superior, like the director. 8. Signals. In negotiations, they are transmitted, and we must be alert to interpret them. 9. Somatic responses. Examples: opening wide your eyes, express interest. Closing, squinting, express fear or something not too good. Turning red, the reddening of our cheeks. Sweating, stuttering, they are all somatic responses. Few people know the color of the eyes with whom they are negotiating, and so they lose that precious communication that is eye contact. Example: an experienced poker player said that you have to see the other player's faces with whom you are playing before looking at your cards. But if you look at the other player's faces before your cards, and you discover that they are looking at you too, then you will be in trouble. Some interesting examples, remembering that our internal attitudes are expressed through our body language, our non-verbal communication. Steepling, putting the hands together as a priest with the fingertips joined, is a sign or gesture that means that who believes to own the truth, to be in possession of the truth. A steep, sloping, imitating with our hands the image of the Nordic country houses' roofs, which are very steep, so that in winter the snow slides and does not sink the roofs. Politicians, almost without exception, when they speak in public, tend to do steepling, and by doing so they are unconsciously expressing that what they say is the truth and nothing but the truth. Gestures of authority. 1. Hands behind your back, authority. 2. Swinging over your feet, authority. 3. Holding your lapels, authority. 4. Hand in the jacket pocket with a thumb out of the pocket, authority, and more. 3 reasons why women are more receptive than men. 1. When they are young girls in their youth, they are given a doll to play with. The boy receives a machine gun or a ball. 2. Boys are put into competition right away. Girls not so much before, but today too. 3. When they are mothers and have their babies, they have to communicate with them without words, that is, with the non-verbal communication. Looking over the glasses is an attitude of suspicion about what they are telling us. Doodling, those who draw pictures on a piece of paper while they are listening to someone else, is not listening well enough. They lose communication, details, and aren't watching the transmitter. that is doing doodling. Position: feet, legs, arm, back, whole body. Feet, cross legs, toes up, expression of tension and aggression. Feet, legs crossed, fingers down, expression of relaxation. Feet flat on the ground, expression without tension. Feet being on your foot tips, expression of restlessness. Legs and arm uncross, the A in eurythmy, an expression of open attitude. Crusaders, the E for eurythmy, close expression of defense, but also recollection, remembering the image of the Madonna, the Virgin Mary, in the paintings with arms crossed, internalizing the divine message. Back, supported, express defense. Not supported, express desire. Body position, forward, express activity, aggression. Towards the back, express passivity. Now let's talk about the general process of NVC. 1. The process begins when we look at another person and they look at us. 2. The first person who speaks produces his or her NVC along with his words. 3. If verbal and non-verbal communication is congruent, we tend to relax, to trust, to believe. 4. If, on the contrary, they are incongruent, then we tend to distrust, doubt, suspect. 5. When the other person speaks, the whole process is repeated. Steps to be taken concerning the NVC. A. What attitudes do we perceive? B. Based on what gestures and facial expressions? C. What other NVC do we check? D. Do we want to modify or influence their attitudes? E. Then let's proceed to 1. Check our own NVC. 2. Continue checking it later. 3. Involve them, ours and the other part, the NVC. 4. Change the environment if necessary. 5. End the meeting. But never ignore the NVCs of both. And okay, if you are interested in our videos, I suggest you give a like and to subscribe to our channel in Spanish and in English, as we publish videos every week.